All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm here with the lovely Honey Hayes. How you doing, sweetheart?
Good, how are you?
Good. We have not seen each other for a while now. It's been like a good, since February, I think, was when we
halfway through February.
Was when we first shot.
Yeah.
And you were brand spanking new.
Yeah, it was like my third shoot probably.
Yeah. And I remember you were a little bit nervous because you had to do like some acting.
Yeah.
And it was one of your first times.
Yeah, no, it was my first
acting.
It was my first acting one. I'd only done like the real ones before where you're just like, oh, I'm a normal person, but this was my first stepdad or whatever.
Yeah, you're playing the typical stepdad, step something. Yeah, and that was your first time being like playing the step daughter kind of role. And you did a great job. You were like surprisingly good for how old are you?
I'm 20.
20-year-old who's never done porn before, never done like sort of mainstream acting before. You've done a little bit of theater stuff.
Yeah, in high school.
But you jumped right into it.
Yeah.
I was bad impressed. And so was the director. It was really good fun. And now you've been basically shooting consistently since then. You've been busy.
I have been busy.
Flying out to Los Angeles, shot out there for a while.
Yeah, I went to Las Vegas too. I actually quite a few more scenes out now, which is pretty cool.
How many you got under your belt now?
I stopped counting. I don't know how many are out. I think total how many I've done though is maybe like 35, maybe more. I'm not really sure.
Yep.
But I'm really excited. I have I'm gonna be on the cover of a DVD soon.
Oh really?
Me and Reina de la Cruz. Have you worked with her?
Yes.
Yeah, she's wonderful. We did we're on Cheer Squad Sleepover 36 or something.
There's anytime there's a porno, it's like the numbers are in like the double digits guaranteed, no matter what it is. Do you know what studio that was for?
Naughty America.
Sounds good. Naughty America's good. I like Naughty America. They're very, very I like that company. They're great fun to shoot for.
Yeah.
But what even got you into porn in the first place? For everyone who's watching right now, maybe give them a little bit of a background on like who Honey Hayes is and like what you were like before porn and then kind of like what got you into porn in the first place.
Yeah, so my whole life I was pretty like shy and awkward, and it took me a while to grow into myself. Like people didn't think I was pretty, people didn't think I was cool. I was pretty awkward, kept to myself. But I think as I got older, I started getting more into my sexual side, and I was dating this one guy at this one point. He went on Reddit a lot, and I ended up finding one of those like not safe for work subreddits.
Yep. Familiar with those? Yep.
Yeah. So I found one that was like, it was gone mild, so it's not like full on nudes, it's like bras and stuff. So I was like, well, I could try that. And I posted a picture of me in like a bra and shorts, and I got a good response. So I was like, well, maybe I'll keep doing this. And that led to OnlyFans, because I was like, oh, I can make money off this. So I started doing OnlyFans. I was doing pretty terribly on there for a while, and then a recruiter for my agency reached out and was like, well, let's get you shooting professionally. And at first I was like, and then I was like, okay, I'll try like one shoot. So I did like one shoot in November for Backroom Casting Couch, and I was like, okay, well, that was pretty dope. Maybe I should try more. And so I came down to Florida expecting to only come for like a couple weeks, right? And I just fell in love with shooting, and now I'm just in it.
Yeah.
Moving to Florida, and I'm like, fuck it. Let's see where this goes. Yeah.
What about it made you, like, you say you fell in love with it. What was it that made you fall in love with it?
I don't know. This job just feels like, I don't know, it comes very naturally to me. I feel like I've never had a job before that I can wake up like at 6 a.m. for. Like if I have a call time at 8, like I couldn't wake up that early, like for any of my other jobs. I would miss like half my morning shifts. But this one, like, I don't know, just knowing that I'm getting paid the amount that I am, and also knowing that I'm going to meet cool people on set or work with people that I already know. And like, I don't know, like I know I'm doing a good job. Like I know people are enjoying it, and that's what really, like I like the feeling of knowing I'm doing a good job, and like the attention too. I really like the attention, because I was like a shy, awkward kid in school.
Right,
like, so
right. So that's the appeal, right? Is because you didn't. It's like, and I see that a lot with girls in the industry. There's a lot of people sort of don't really understand how many like secret nerds are in porn. Both the guys and the girls.
Yeah.
We're good looking nerds, but we're nerds, and none of us got like attention in school. Or like they weren't like the super popular kid. It's super rare for there to be like a super popular person from high school getting
Yeah.
into porn, especially as a girl. That's pretty rare. And so it's a very, like the attention, and it's like a fun job, and everyone on set, like, do you find that everyone on set is just super chill and easy to get along with? It's not really stressful?
Yeah, out of all the scenes I've done, I probably only have had like 2 where I like didn't enjoy the set, or I didn't enjoy like the vibe on set. And like I've done quite a few now, so like that's definitely one of my favorite parts about this job, is just like meeting all the cool people. Like I'm making so many connections with people who I think are really awesome to hang out with. Like I'm really excited to see you again. Like I just you made my 3rd shoot like such a good experience, and it's really dope to see you again.
It was good. We had a good time.
Yeah, it was definitely fun.
We shot 2 scenes that day. It was a busy day.
Two?
Didn't we shoot 2 back to back? Yeah, we did like one. We did like one step little one, and then we did one in the shower.
Yeah, didn't we?
So we did like a double that day.
Yeah.
It was a busy day.
It was.
Yeah. And I mean, I find that as well, that like everyone in this industry tends to be like, it's one of those, it's a job you can go to and you can make any kind of joke on set, because you're not going to get in trouble with HR for making a dick joke because there's dicks flying around, like literally on set.
Yeah.
You know, and, I'm curious. You said you had, so you said you were with a guy when you started posting this stuff on Reddit. Is what you said. Yeah. And then at what point are you still with the guy?
No. So.
At what point did that sort of break up, when you decided to do like mainstream porn, or OnlyFans, or did that sort of thing stop earlier than that?
So I was dating one guy when I was doing the Reddit stuff, and it was just like pretty mild stuff, so he didn't like mind. But then we eventually broke up and started dating this new guy, and I started doing OnlyFans when I was dating him, but he wasn't like comfortable enough with his body to help me with that, so I was just making solo content and stuff. And there were a couple times during that period where people had reached out to me like, do you want to collab, or can we fly you out and like shoot you professionally for this thing? And I was like, no, because I was dating this guy, and like we were just both like, it was just weird. Like we're still navigating it all. But then we broke up, and you know, my recruiter reached out, and I was like, well, there's nothing tying me down now. Like,
right. So you jumped on the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because it was like a perfect time, perfect place.
Yeah, definitely.
Time to get some random dick and get paid for it at the same time.
Yeah, and also I think after I did my first scene, so I did my first scene late November, and then in December I I was living in Colorado at that point. I moved halfway across the country to Washington with my ex-best friend, and I got super depressed because I didn't know anyone there, and I couldn't find a job, and like there was just nothing to do because of COVID, and it was super gloomy. And so when my recruiter reached out and was like, hey, let's fly you out to Florida now, I was like, well, this could like turn things around for me. And it really did in a big way. And I'm so grateful for that.
What's it like earning the kind of money that you earn as like a 20-year-old? Because like I imagine, like what kind of jobs did you have before porn?
I was working at a fast food place.
Yeah, fast food place. Like what's that? Like $10 an hour?
I think it was like $12.
$12 an hour.
It's Colorado, so like they're a lot better about like.
So you go from how much did you make in a day doing the fast food?
Let's say if I worked like 7 hours.
It's like $80.
Yeah.
$80 in a day to what I know you're making now. What's that kind of like at such a young age? I mean, obviously you don't. It's a weird kind of loaded question because you don't know what it's like being another age. But
I know it's hard. I would say it's hard to know how to manage all that money.
Gotcha.
One of the biggest things that's been hard for me to deal with in this job is like managing my expenses, because there are also like a lot more expenses now that I have to worry about. Like I feel like just moving to a different place and like taking on a new job and like all this traveling, like I'm taking a lot more expenses than I accounted for, and it's definitely hard, but it's also like insane that like I have a new car. Like I just bought a new car like a month ago, and like maybe I should have waited, but like also it's cool that I can do that, right?
that was going to be my next question. What kind of things do you spend your money on? Because I know a lot of girls in our industry will spend them on like shoes and lingerie sets. Yeah. A lot of money gets sunk into that, but you just bought your new car and it's...
Yeah, so my expenses are really adding up because like I said, I just moved to Washington before this, and my roommate was not happy about me leaving, so I'm still paying rent there, unfortunately.
Damn.
Trying to get out of the lease, but it's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Then I'm paying rent here, and then I'm paying my car payment and my insurance payment, and then traveling and like staying places where I'm traveling, and then like Ubers when I'm traveling, and then eating out all the time when I'm traveling, and also shoot clothes constantly, lots of shoot clothes. So yeah, it's a lot of expenses I didn't account for, but it's also like, you know, like I'm not like, I'm okay right now. Like, and that's what really matters. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I have enough money that like, even with these expenses, I'm still like doing good, which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Especially comparatively to what you would have been like.
Yeah. If I had taken all of these expenses on with like a different job, for example, like if I had moved to Florida and just like gotten a different job here, I would be fucked right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially this city. This is not as expensive as LA, but it's a little bit more expensive than say Colorado.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. I'm curious. Like, now that how much? If you don't mind me asking, like, how much sex had you had before porn? Like, how many partners or like relationships had you been in before porn?
Yeah, so I think my body count before I got into porn was like...
Okay, you used the word... I was going to use the word body count, but you used the word body count. Fine. We're going to use body count.
But I think my body count before I got into porn was probably like a little less than like 15. And I lost my virginity at like 14 or something. So like from 14 to like almost 20, like it was like 15 people.
Yep.
I wasn't really having like a lot of sex. It was like, just like, I don't know, whatever. And I was in a couple relationships. I'm not very good at relationships. So, you know, I just have a problem with commitment. Anyways, but this job has...
So this job's perfect for you then?
This job has turned me into a nympho is the thing. Like I went from like, just like, you know, having sex with like whoever I was dating and like maybe occasionally like once a year I'd have like a couple one night stands or something, but like it wasn't like a lot. And now I'm just like, I have a hard time getting off when I'm by myself because I'm so used to like getting off with like in a scene or like with someone, you know. So
and you're a very orgasmic young lady, extremely like very this lady is very fun to work with, gentlemen. And I think that ties into everything you're saying. You've really. This job has really allowed you to like explore
definitely
your sexuality a bit more. Is there anything you've done in porn that you but you hadn't done it before?
Many. Yeah, so many things. There were a lot of things I wasn't even open to like trying before this. Like I would have never eaten someone's ass before this job.
Okay, that's interesting.
Like I was not into that at all.
That's very in vogue now. Like a lot of young girls are eating man ass all the time.
I think it's because it's like now guys are more open to like being like, I want my ass eaten. Because now in being in porn, like before I was in porn, like I didn't meet a lot of guys. Like they were all like, don't go near my ass. And I was like, I don't want to. Now I'm meeting all these guys who are like, well, yeah, like I like my ass eaten. I'm like, okay, well, I'll try it. And I have tried it. And like
eat my ass now.
And it's interesting. I'm finding out I'm into a lot more things just because of the domination aspect, like eating an ass, for example. It doesn't appeal to me in general, but if someone tells me like, I want you to eat my ass, just them telling me they want me to do it, I'm like, oh, okay, now I want to eat your ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. So is that what about it is the thing that's getting you off there? Is it that it's a little bit degrading? Is it that he's like telling you what to do? Is it that it's sort of, like you said, it's like more dominant and forceful? Yeah,
I think it is partly the degrading thing, but I think it is more about just being told what to do. Like that's my favorite thing. Like I want to be told like, do this. I want you to do this. Like you do this. Like that's what really gets me.
You're a natural submissive.
Yeah. But also it is definitely like the degrading thing a little because can I admit something?
You can admit anything. Okay.
Yeah, this is a little juicy.
Turn and face the camera.
This is a little juicy.
Look up the top here.
Before this job, I had never consumed piss before, and I have now. A guy has peed in my mouth, and I swallowed all of it.
Well done.
And I found it hot, like because like it was degrading, and I was like, and I had never even like considered that before. And then I met Aria Banks, and she's kind of a freak, and she just like rubbed off on me. Like I was like, so yeah, like
how much is that aspect of this, like being around other girls who are like sort of a few steps ahead of you?
Yeah.
How much, like you said, she's rubbed off on you, like.
Yeah, I think that's.
Do you notice that? You were like a bit shy about something, and then you've talked to other girls about it, and they're like, "Oh, this is actually fun," or "This is actually not that difficult."
Yeah, I don't think it's that we really have conversations. I think it's just like when I witness like when I witness something freaky happen, and they're all really into it. I'm like, okay, I can see how that could be hot now. You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's I want to ask a couple of different questions. So, what is the worst sex you've ever had? Either it can be onset, it can be offset, whatever it was. Whatever was the worst sexual experience you had in terms of like lame sex.
Oh, lame.
Like you didn't enjoy it at all. You didn't get off. It was just boring.
Okay, well,
like you wouldn't see the guy
when I was
again.
a younger teenage girl, like teenage guys suck at sex. So like I feel like most of those beginning experiences were pretty lame. I definitely didn't get off with a guy until I was like probably 18, and I had to do it myself.
Really?
Yeah. Most of the guys I'd been with before porn were, I mean, I had like a couple good ones, but like a lot of them did not know what they were doing. They didn't communicate. Like the one thing that gets to me the most is when a guy just assumes they know your body. I hate when like a guy comes in really strong and they're just like rubbing your clit like it's a fucking turntable, and they're like, and like you didn't ask me like what I want, like like how do you know if this is enjoyable for me? But and like sometimes
so they're not like gauging your feedback. They're not reading your body as they're doing things.
No, they're just diving in like I know what I'm doing. It's like, no, you fucking don't.
Because there is a difference. Like there are like, because what I teach guys like how to be better in bed, right?
Yeah.
And a large part of that is being able to read.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just
your partner
reactions.
Because your reactions, like your facial expressions, you're even reading your body, understanding how things work down there, and seeing if you're doing things right.
Because every girl is different. Like that's the thing.
Well,
like,
a
lot of guys will just dive in. They're like, this is what that last girl liked. But no, like my clit is more sensitive than others. It's tougher than others.
Yes.
Like you gotta like, if I'm moaning, then you're doing a good job. If I'm pulling away, then ease up.
Exactly, you know? Exactly. Something as subtle as simple as that, as just like seeing the girl backing up and pulling away from the stimulation you're giving her. So many guys will ignore that sign.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, it's like either an ego thing, or they'll just be like, "Oh, really? You're not going to get away from me?" And they'll try to chase that.
I think the big thing is when some girls it's too much, we kind of like clench up and pull away and like make more noise, and sometimes they misread that as like, "Oh, this is good for her," but no, it's like our big reaction. You really have to know the difference between a big reaction of like, oh, like I'm really enjoying this, and like, oh, this is a lot, you know?
Because it's kind of like for guys listening, like a similar experience might be if a girl like gives you like a really rough hand job, like that kind of pulling away feeling that you might feel of like, like that is the same thing. Yeah. But for her. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's really, like dudes need to pay attention to that. But saying that, because like you said, you're right that every girl is different, but I'm going to kind of disagree in a way that they're all very, very similar. Like it's a dial. It's like it's like the way I look at it, every girl kind of likes the same stuff, but to different degrees. It's a spectrum, right?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
you are like have a more sensitive clit. Okay, so I'm not going to do things super, super rough down there because I know it's sensitive. But like most women, like 99% like having their hair pulled. Yeah. Right? Like 99%. Like, let me ask you this then. How important is eye contact for you during sex?
See, that's a tricky one, because when I first started having sex, I could not make eye contact with people.
Because you were shy.
I was very awkward. I wasn't confident in my body. And that still sometimes sticks with me. Sometimes when I'm having sex, I have a hard time making eye contact just because I'm like nervous. I don't know. I think it's just like lingered in my mind. It really depends on the situation. Like if I'm really confident about what I'm doing and I'm really into it, then I can definitely like look them right in the eyes. But the biggest thing for me is when I'm riding. If I'm riding, I think that's when I feel the least confident, because like
because you're kind of in control of things.
The focus is the most on me, and I'm like, oh, like I have to do like this is all my job right now, and I don't know. So sometimes when I'm riding, I'll just kind of like look up. I'm like, instead of like looking down at them, because I don't know. It just. I
mean, it also looks good on the camera. Yeah. So it's kind of convenient.
Yeah.
What about noise? Do you prefer if a guy is dead silent, or do you prefer if a guy and I'm not
this
just
is a big thing for me.
I'm not just talking about like dirty talk. I mean,
I totally know what you're saying, because like I think about this constantly. I hate when I'm having sex with a guy and he is silent. Like I need to know. I want to know what you're feeling. I want to know you're enjoying it. So when a guy, like there's this one guy I make content with a lot, and like when he's like getting close to coming, he just makes the same like moaning sound over. He's like, and like it's just the same thing, but like every time he starts doing that, I'm like, yeah,
I got him.
Give me more of that. Like, I had this one boyfriend. He was like, it felt like I was like, the sex was great, but like not getting anything from him, like verbally, like there was no moaning. He was just like breathing heavily. I'm like, because
then you don't know if you're doing a good job.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. It's just also like, it's not that I don't know. Like, I know he was enjoying it, but I want to hear it too. Like, I want you to show me that I'm doing a good job. Like, I think it's partly like my praise kink. Like, I just want like that approval. You want
to be told you're a good little girl.
Yeah. In any way, like you can either say like you're a good girl, or you can like just be like, oh fuck, that feels so good. Like any of that is like that really.
They really hit you in the feels.
Yes. And I really like, you do this thing where you kind of like growl, and that like, that it's so like animalistic, and how you're like, oh, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few people comment on that on my scenes, and I've definitely had a lot of girls comment on that when I'm shooting with them. They're like, damn, I like the growl. It just, for me, it just comes out naturally. It's just something it's just me expressing what I'm feeling in that particular moment.
Yeah.
But it manifests in the form of a growl. Okay then. Rough sex or romantic sex?
I could go either way. I am very into rough sex, but I think there's a time and place for everything, you know? I feel like it really depends on the situation. Like, if it's the moment for rough sex, then fucking, you know, let's do that. But if we're just feeling like, oh, I just want to be gentle and intimate with you, you know, I'm a fan of both. I really am. But I feel like I just haven't had as much rough sex as I would like to in my life, you know? Huh. I like both, but I feel like overall it's been skewed. Because
primarily because of your personal life or because of porn?
I think it's because of the way I look. Because I've talked to some guys about this, and some guys are just hesitant to hurt me because I look sweet and innocent, I guess.
Yes,
and
you look delicate.
Yeah, and it sucks because like, I mean, there's something to be said about like forcing, like getting someone to dom me by being a brat, but like also I just want someone to want to dom me, you know? Like I feel like usually when someone is rough with me, I have to push them to that point. I'm like, here's what I want you to do to me. Like, I want you to slap me. I want you to pull my hair.
Like you have to actively tell them that.
Yeah, I have to be like a brat. I have to like get them to that point. But I just can't wait till I meet someone who just like is ready, who just like gets me in bed, is just yanking on my hair and stuff. Like that's.
Do you find when you're shooting porn that because I find this, that half the time you can't do the things you want to be doing purely because you have to open up for the camera. I have to do, so for example with me it's like I have to keep my hands out of the way a lot of the time because they got to see, like at all times it's to see your face, your titties, your booty, your pussy, whatever. So I can't like put my hands on you in a way that I normally would if the camera wasn't there. But now, because the camera's there, I can't do that stuff. Do you find that do you find that there's things that you would like your partner to be doing in the scene, but you know that they can't?
So much, yes, all the time. Like, even just like the positions themselves. Like there will be a time when we're like for example, I just had a scene with James Angel, and at this one point, like he started fucking me in a way that I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And then the director was like, no, the light's not good like that. Like switch it up. I'm like, yep. God damn it.
Yeah.
Like that was the position. That was it. That's what I want.
Yep.
So many times. Yeah. Or like, I had this one guy who slapped me in the scene. I was like, that's hot. But the director was like, it's not that kind of scene. Like, don't do that. And I was like, God damn it. Like, cause like, the thing is, I always played that like innocent, like teen type. And like, sometimes the scene calls for a little bit of roughness, but usually they're like, so gentle.
There's a lot of, you'd be surprised, like people sort of think of porn as this like really, really rough extreme stuff, but most companies don't let us do the kind of perverted shit that we actually want to be doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same as that. Like I like getting a girl off through pain.
Yeah.
Right? I'm the one who likes to inflict the pain.
Yeah.
But it is my medium of delivering pleasure is that pain.
Yeah.
Right? So I can tell when a girl likes to be slapped, and I like to do it and see the that face of joy,
Yeah.
that smile that a girl gives me after I've done that properly.
Yeah.
But 99.9% of the directors I shoot for are like, no, can't do that. Can't. You got to stop doing that.
Yeah, I definitely thought like before I got into porn, it was like one of the biggest things. I was like, oh, well, this is going to be cool. I was like, oh, well, this is going to be cool because like I'll really get a chance to delve into that side. And I have a little, like I've definitely gotten more kinkier. Like I've definitely had more kinkier experiences, but like it's definitely not what I thought it would be.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot more vanilla than people will take it.
Yeah, and it's a lot more like of a job than people think. Like it really, like the positions. Like I mean, not that I don't enjoy it. Like it can definitely be enjoyable, but it's also like not just sex. Like a lot of people are just like, oh, you get to fuck all the time. Like, and it's like, yeah, but there's a lot more to it than that.
There's a lot of time in the makeup chair. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of waiting around for the lighting to be right.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff like that sort of people overlook.
Yeah, they're like, it's just nonstop enjoyable. It's like, no, you got to take breaks in between positions. You got to like, they'll stop when it's getting good. Like,
it's about like, look, if I'm being honest, it's about 10 minutes of enjoyable in the entire day of like a 30-minute scene.
Yeah.
Probably like 10 minutes is great.
Yeah.
10 minutes of that day is what you think it is.
Yeah.
Or what
and
everyone,
then they're like,
watching
switch it up, and you're like, fuck.
Fuck. All right, fine. We gotta do something that is better for the camera.
Like, oh, reverse cowgirl. God damn it.
Everyone's favorite position is reverse cowgirl.
Yeah, porn has really ruined reverse cowgirl for me. Before I came into this job, it was one of my favorite, not like one of my favorite positions, but it was definitely a go-to one because I do it a lot differently. Like
you do it with your butts, where you're facing away, like you're laying kind of like a doggy.
Yeah, I'm like on like this, and I like
Yeah.
But
you can't do that in porn because you can't see it.
Yeah, and so now I just don't even want to do reverse cowgirl anymore. Like if I'm having sex off camera, I'm not even like, let's do reverse cowgirl. I'm like, let's do doggy, let's do mish, like let's do anything but this.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it goes. Is there anything that you've sort of got on your no list right now? Like I definitely 100% will not do this particular thing.
Right now I'm not doing DP because that scares me.
You are a tiny girl. That would be very difficult.
Yeah, I get so many because like my first scene I did was anal, which I know now that I should have waited to do that. Like after being in this industry, I realized like I definitely should have started with normal and then like made people wait.
Most women, most girls who get into the new girls aren't taught how to pace their career properly. I think
it's pretty messed up. But anyways, so since I started with anal, everyone's like constantly like, "Are you doing DP soon? Are you doing DP?" And I'm like, "Slow your roll." Like I don't know about all that.
Would you do when you're talking about DP? Are you talking about like one in the pussy, one in the butt, or are you talking about two in one hole?
Either.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
the
I mean,
reaction
I could definitely try one. At some point, I am gonna do one in the pussy and one in the ass, but I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I can fit two in either. Because first of all, my vagina is pretty like
you are like tiny.
It's tight.
Tiny.
And my ass takes things pretty naturally. Like I'm a natural. When it comes to anal, I'm a natural.
You're a butt queen.
But I don't know about two. That's a big jump.
That's a bit extreme for you.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
What would be your deepest, darkest sexual fantasy? Not necessarily like a sex act, but like a scenario, a situation.
Oh my God. It's kind of dark.
Let's hear it. I'm curious. How dark and twisted is Honey Hayes really?
About to spill some tea. So I think it stems from trauma in my past, but I'm pretty big into like CNC stuff. Like I haven't tried anything.
Wait,
but
what's CNC?
Like consensual, non-consensual.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Like my biggest fantasy would be like a gangbang where I'm like tied up or something, so I like can't like struggle or anything, and just being used over and over and over and over again until they're done. Like I want to be covered in cum. I just want to be like.
You are in the right industry, my dear. You are absolutely in the correct industry. Have you been contacted by kink.com yet?
No.
I think you would love. I mean that what you just described is exactly what they do.
Yeah. The problem is though, like I really have to pace myself with like like I want to do like a gangbang so badly, but like I can't yet. I can't.
Wait. Be patient.
Yeah.
Wait for it. Extend like because I used to work in Europe. And what you'll see in Europe is girls will come in and they'll be churned through the industry in about 3 months.
Damn.
And it'll be done. Like they'll be on Rocco's set. They'll be doing double anal within like 2-3 months.
Oh my god!
And they'll be shot out, and so they won't be able to shoot. No one else wants to shoot them because they've seen everything.
Yeah. And
it's like, damn, she was a good performer. She was a good girl, whatever. But just because they didn't pace their career, they really like out here they're not as bad as they are in Europe. In Europe, they really just fucking churn through the girls as quickly as they can, and they don't like educate them at all about pacing themselves. And there's no real agents.
Had told me,
here they have, at least there is an agent for girls, but again they don't really.
Have agents there?
No, not really. They have like Brill babes, and they just sort of book girls. They don't really mentor them or anything or teach them anything.
Yeah.
At least with you guys, if you get into the model house, you can pick the brains of other girls. You can learn some stuff. Then it's a bit better. But out there, they don't really even do that.
Yeah, I am pretty disappointed that no one like warned me before I came into this industry, like, hey, don't start with anal. But, also it's okay because before I came into this industry, I'd never done anal. My first scene was my first time ever doing anal.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty crazy.
And I'm honestly kind of glad I did it because like I'm learning that I'm like, the more I do it, the more I like it. And that's pretty dope. Like
you're learning that it's a passion of yours.
I was super scared before I ever did it. And then I've done it 4 times now total, 3 in professional scenes and 1 for content. And the first time I was like, feels super natural. I don't fuck with it. Second time I was like, okay. The third time I was like, okay. And the fourth time I really liked it. So I don't know. I think it's cool that like this job has just like made me learn so much more about myself and what I like,
I think that's interesting that you start to you've enjoyed it more the more you've done it.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of women have, like non-porn women, like civilians, right, have had bad experiences with butt stuff, and it's been one bad experience, and they let that bad experience taint them from trying it again. Whereas if they would just, if they were with a guy who knew what he was doing for a start, that helps. A guy who's not going to just fucking ram it in there like dry, no lube, like straight to the hilt, but who's going to ease it in there, rub her clit at the same time, make sure she's enjoying herself. I think they would start to have a similar experience like you, where it's become, oh damn, this is really enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's why I was open to trying it for my first time on camera, because I knew that like it's going to be a professional setting. They're going to use lube, like they're going to take it slowly. They know it's my first time, like, and like even though I didn't really enjoy it the first time, like the motion just felt unnatural, but it was still a really positive experience. Like the guy was great. He took it very slowly. He was very nice about it. And so, yeah, I feel like that's definitely, awesome.
It's been a highlight. Excellent. Well, look, I think we'll wrap it up there. Honey, where can everybody find more about you? Where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at honeyhayesxxx. Hayes is spelled Hayes. And you can find me on Instagram at thehoneyhaze and onlyfans.com/thehoneyhaze.
There you go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. The lovely Honey Hayes. We'll see you later. Take care. Do that little Hago face. Your face. That's this shit.
Can I see because my glasses have a glare?
Love it.